Yeah, you know, this opening, there they are, Johnny and Barbara. There are the credits. This looks amazing for this is the Oh, I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared. Hold on. Hold on, I'm not prepared. Oh, there we go. Oh, story for meals for everyone. That's a terrible. Come on, volume go down. About like that. Oh, here we go. Okay, I don't have to hold it. This is the creepy Halloween view of. Now I'm looking at you. Look at that! I got side light and my fuzzy Son of Frankenstein shirt. It's all fuzzy. I love this. It's like a. It's. See it? It's like a plaid, like a lumberjack, or whatever you call that, outdoorsy type thing. But it's a very like soft. Well, I can't hold it and clothing arrangements by Roger. Hey everybody! All right, I am watching my favorite in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Favorite horror film. Night of the Living Dead, the original 1968 movie, is in my top 5. Along with, on Halloween night, I'll probably give you my whole, there we go, my whole top 5. And this is in there. This is in there. I love this movie so much. I've seen this movie so many times. I've studied this movie. I've watched this movie frame by frame. Well, slow-mo, not frame by frame, but slow-mo, just to analyze the cuts and the shots. I was in film school one of the first times I've seen this. I don't think. No, maybe I did. Maybe I did see this a couple times on like Screaming Yellow Theater, Svengoolie's original show. You people who know who Svengoolie is the son of Svengoolie, who the original was Jerry G. Bishop from the 70s. There was a guy in the 70s doing it. He was more of a hippie kind of, druggy kind of vampire guy with striped pants and long hair and shades. And I think that's probably where I know I saw A Bucket of Blood the first time there, and a lot of other really gruesome horror films, and this was probably one of them. But no, now that I'm really thinking back on it, and again, I mentioned this in my, probably in my M's and my N's, I saw this movie, yeah, it wasn't on television, it was at the theater. And, you know, I mentioned that it was at a porn theater, which is true. I saw this at a porn theater, the Highway, on 63rd and Western in Chicago. I'm going to try to lower that even more so I don't get copyright for the audio. But it couldn't have been 1968 because the movie came out in 68. So I'm thinking it was used as a second rate. So even if it was 1970, I was 10 years old, you know, and I saw it with Mark of the Devil. And both of those movies freaked me out. Go back and watch my Defending My Collections where I talk about those. Possibly in the M for Mark of the Devil and the Ends for Night of the Living Dead. I also had the 16mm print of this film. I used to show it at block parties on Trumbull, where I used to live. There used to be a block party next door, and I would set up a sheet. And I had my 16mm camera, and I had this. It was a 2 reel. It was double reel, and I would show it One time it broke. It totally broke. Just before they were going to go out with the Molotov cocktails and all, just during the conversation between the two young couple. Oh my God, I can't think of their names right now. Off the top of my head, I know them. I just cannot think of them. But right in that scene, it broke, and we couldn't finish the film, so we were like, sorry, folks, you gotta go see it somewhere else. But anyway, no, I love this movie. It was just, this is They're Coming to Get You, Barbara. You've seen this, horror fans have seen this a billion times. A billion, yeah, a billion. Bill Heinzman. Man, now we know all the now we know all the names. We all know all the names of the actors. You know, John Russo, Jack Russo, Bill Heinzman, Barbara. Oh my God, Russell Steiner. Anyway, yeah, I'm watching this tonight. I love it. This is a yearly thing. This a couple times a year. A couple times a year I watch this. It just holds it in my heart. I love it. I love the student filmness of it. I love the black and white B moviness of it. I love how gruesome it gets. It's not gory, it's gruesome. It's just, oh, and how shocking it gets near the end with the daughter eating the father and then killing the mother with the gardening troll, which is done so brilliantly. Romero edited that and freaked with the sound so brilliantly in that scene to make it just nightmarish, to make it so rememberable that you'll never forget those high-pitched screams. And then that ending, and then the ending, which shocked the fuck out of me the first time I saw it. I was like, you can't kill the leading guy. You spoilers, if you haven't seen Night of the Living Dead. It's like, it's Ben. It was like, no. And then you're like, jaw drop. You're like, there's another one for the fire. You're like, and then you see these stills of him being hooked with those meat hook things, which I used when I was I worked in a meatpacking plant, and when I had to use those, I always thought of this movie, pulling up bodies and stuff. But him putting Ben on the fire and then burning it, and it was such a shocking thing. It really was, for a little kid that I was at the time, and this movie's been parodied, and this movie has been copied, and this movie sadly has gone into public domain and has been shown so many times in an inferior print and showing, and it is so nice. I said at the beginning this is an import from the UK, which was considered and is considered to this time on the Blu-ray.com forums, that this is the best version to get. And I got it, and I'm watching it, and it's the 31 Views of Halloween, and we're just going to continue watching this. All right, bye. You know, let me put that back there. How's that? That's good? That's good. Let me lower this a little bit again. You know, this again, I'm thinking back when I originally saw this, and I saw like the TV news reports. I think as a kid, it was the first time I was like, wow, they never show the news in horror movies. And here they're showing the news, and it's like, wow, this is like it could really happen. If something like this was happening, they would report like this. It's like go here or stay in your home, or just giving you little bits and pieces, and they don't know the story. Big difference from news of today, where they think they know the story and they report what they hear and they report what they're told to report. But we won't get into that. But yeah, the news reports on this was a big thing for me. Watching it, it really added a reality to it. That added that fear, that really scary fear about it. God, I love this movie. Jeez, all of them, all of the characters, and Dwayne Jones, man. I wish he lived longer than he did. It would have been great to see interviews with him about this movie. Well, now they're going to devise a plan to go to the pumps, and we all know where that goes. All right, Roger D. watching Night of the Living Dead, the original 1968 classic. Did I say I saw this originally at a porn theater with Mark of the Devil? Yeah. And I got the vomit bag from Mark of the Devil. Look at my other videos. You'll see the vomit bag. I have it framed. I framed my vomit bag. Yeah, I did. It's from Mark of the Devil, dude. From the 70s. Well, but Night of the Living Dead. Gosh. Wow. I got the original one sheet, too. I got one of the original one sheets. There were 2 or 3 of them. They were different colors. One was green, one was red. I can't think of what the other, or if that was it. But I got them autographed by a lot of people, including George and Barbara. Oh, anyway, I'm going back to the movie. Bye. Why am I? I don't mean to brag. I'm just saying. I'm thinking Night of the Living Dead and what I have of it. Here's a young George Romero as a newscaster interviewing at the UN, supposedly. It's a Venus probe, a probe that crashed and caused this. No, it isn't. Who knows? Do they ever? Has anyone, other than 28 weeks later and 28 days later, has any zombie movie ever really give a reason why the outbreak has happened? I guess I don't know zombie movies as well as maybe horror fans. But I'm wondering, has there ever been a reason why? Other than 28 days later, because that's a virus. And yeah, you could say this is a virus, but it didn't cause a zombie thing. Anyway, I'm going back to Night of the Living Dead. Why am I talking about this? I just love this movie. I just remember having that 60 millimeter, those reels, holding them in my hands, putting them on the projector, watching them in my basement. I watched this movie so many times. 16 millimeter I had. That's great. What a memory. All right, going back to the movie. Bye. All right, here we go. It's going to shoot him. No. Oh, he shot him. Ben shot him. Is that racist? It don't matter. This is Night of the Living Dead. We're talking horror movies. Oh, here they come. Oh, fuck. Oh, craziness. All right, pause this. It's been going. Pause that. All right. Man, I love this movie. Best zombie siege ever. Farmhouse. Period. Oh. You know, there's The Walking Dead, there's Z Nation, there's so many Zombieland, there's so many movies, horror movies, zombie movies, The Dead. I love The Dead. Africa and the new one. There are so many. I even love this. Anybody out there that is watching this know of a movie called Zombie Praga? Praga, or Praga Zombie? I have that movie, and then Zombie Praga 2, I think it's called. I think it's Praga. It's a Mexican zombie film, and there's 2 of them, and they're hilarious. I think, is it Zombie Praga? Is that what it's called, or is it called something else? Anyway, it's a Mexican zombie two movies, and they're hilarious and they're gory as hell and they're tongue in cheek. They're very Evil Dead 2 like. Hey, Ash versus the Evil Dead is coming out in a couple days, and so is The Return. The Return is coming back. Ha ha ha! I can't wait. And we're watching Night of the Living Dead, and I'm talking about that stuff. Anyway, I love this movie. Ben just shot Harry. Harry's going to fall down to the basement. And when Ben gets pushed down there, he's going to see the old little girl eating Harry's arm. Daddy's arm. Wow. Great stuff. Great stuff. This is Roger on the 31 Days of Halloween. Watching Night of the Living Dead, 1968, and that's what I'm watching. All right, I'm going back to the final. Bye, 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 bye. They're coming to get you, Barbara. They're coming for you, Barbara. He ripped at me and he tore at me, and I called for Johnny, but Johnny didn't come. Anyway, bye. The mall.
Looks like a shopping center, one of those big indoor malls.
It was so new back then. Look at these awesome shots. I always love that shot. With the copter going sideways. Hey.
Oh my God.
There it is. Hey.
Let's check it out.
Wow. Turn that down. It's late. Yeah, I decided to watch Dawn. Oh, excuse me. It's so good. You just filmed me watching it. And I'm not going to say anything. You know, 1978, this thing came out. I was just starting college. I was at Columbia College in downtown Chicago. And this was playing, I think it was either the United Artists or the State and Lake. One of those old, or it could have been, no, it wasn't the Chicago Theater. Chicago Theater, I saw Moonraker, but it wasn't the Chicago Theater. It was another one. And I don't know if I ever told this story. After class, whatever class it was, I think it was a film class, we were supposed to go out and do something. And instead, I put my stuff in the car and I went and saw this movie. And then my friends from the other classes, when I was walking out of my first viewing of this, which was fantastic, I can't even tell you how the very first viewing of this affected me, because I was such a big Night of the Living Dead fan. To see a sequel by the same director in color and as gory and as humorous as it was, as great as this movie was, and as long as it was, I loved how the length of this thing, and I love the full director's cut. I wish that would someday get released on Blu-ray. The whole everything, all the stuff thrown in, Argento stuff, everything. When I saw it, the original theatrical cut, God, it was just like, I could not believe it. I couldn't wait to tell people about it. I had the Roger Ebert 4-star review cut out and put in my basement, framed up in my basement. But when I saw it and then I was leaving the theater, it was like, okay, the movie's over, leaving the theater. In the line coming in, I saw other film students that were from my class that actually did do the thing that I didn't do. And they were coming to see it. And I was like, oh, you got to see it, you got to see it. And I went back in and I saw it again. with them. So I saw it twice the same day, the day it opened. And then when we were all coming out, there was someone else there. I was like, I actually saw Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead, 3 times the day it opened at that theater downtown in Chicago. I'll never forget that. I went home, it was dark. I was going home. I loved this movie. And to see it the first day and see it that many times and the gore effects. Like I said, I mentioned in a hangout, I was showing some pictures. I started getting into makeup, doing the gory makeup, and I did a picture where my whole face was like slit open. But it was done as a zombie, so it was all pussed over, it was all scarred. It wasn't like a fresh cut. And I had this look like I was a dazed zombie. Maybe I'll put them in here. But man, it was like this was. I mean, I always wanted to make movies. But this was one of those where I was like, oh, you could do so much with the zombie genre, and we never got around to do it. We never did any type of zombie thing. We did some goofy science fiction thing with a wand that made things disappear, and my original R Invaded Earth, and then later the Scout, the Apocalypto type thing. But never did a zombie film, me and my friends. But this flick, I love all these characters, Fran and Roger, and gosh. Anyway, I'm waxing nostalgia, as they say. Is that what they say? And I'm very tired. It's very late. Because after night, I did watch something else. Some other I caught up on TV stuff. And then now, I don't know, it's got to be like 11 or 12. And I'm watching Dawn. I'm not going to apologize. I'm tired. But this is the way you should see it. Late at night, it's dark, it's cold and rainy and windy out, and you're watching Dawn of the Dead, and you're barely dozing off, coming back, and it's bringing those nightmares. It's making those visions, so when you do doze off, you're thinking of zombies. Oh, the music that Romero uses in this was so great. Oh man, I finally completed a complete Dawn of the Dead soundtrack with all the library music and that. That was a long task, and I finally did. And I was selling it bootleg for a long time, and I stopped. But anyway, I completed it. I got them all. And then there's those zombie figures I got back there. Oh. Anyway, I'm done talking about Dawn of the Dead. I love this movie. It's a great movie. Everybody who knows the movie loves the movie. Knows all the characters, knows all the shots, knows the music, the rhythm, the dialogue. Gosh, great movie. Anyway, this is Roger, watching on Channel Donstar, watching the 29th movie in the 31 views of Halloween. Should we go for it? I need lighter fluid. All right. It's what's coming up. All right, I'm done. Wow, and the mall aspect. Jeez, it's 2015. There are no malls. Well, I guess there are. But man, the 80s and 90s, there were malls everywhere. All right, Roll Roger Downstar signing off. 31 views of Halloween. See you tomorrow. Bye.